The West of the Lake Gardens in Manitowoc are in full bloom. Angela Kelly joins us now with a look around. Hi, Ange.
Hi, Rachel. Good morning, everyone. Well, earlier we showed you the red and white garden, and now we're going to take a little walk on over here. This was one of the first gardens that was put in on this property, owned by John and Ruth West, and they moved in here in 1934, right, Don?
1934. If you can imagine, back in 1934, this was a gravel path, and Ruth had a narrow bed on either side with 100 tulips, and that is where the gardens got its start. We still call it the path garden, but if you can imagine, we started with 200 tulips, and Ruth had that evolved into over 30,000 tulips throughout the property.
Incredible. So tell us what we'll find now in here.
Well, we have a mix of annuals. The center of the garden is the Queen Elizabeth rose. What's neat about the Queen Elizabeth rose is it is the first grandiflora rose. It was a cross between the hybrid tea and a floribunda rose, meaning it's a long-stemmed rose with the cluster of flower on the end. And another plant that's unique is the Lisianthus. That's probably one of the most asked about plants that we have in the garden because it looks like a rose, but it's not. It's just an annual flower. The theme here is predominantly pink and blue.
It's beautiful. Really peaceful along the shores here. I can't imagine what it would be like to work here. You can see you got a couple of your staff out in the gardens. What are they doing now? What's a typical work day for them to maintain such a big property? Well,
Miraca and Polly are going to be basically deadheading flowers. They're taking off the spent blooms. They do any weeding that needs to be done, and basically just tending to the plants, and then they go through and they hand cultivate all the soil. We don't use a lot of mulches, so and we do that because we maintain a formal garden. We feel a bark mulch maybe takes away from that formality, and these are two of the ladies that really help keep the garden up to snuff, if you will. And they are also a big part of my planting crew. It's when we plant, I don't have too many cooks in the kitchen, and they are two of my mainstays.
And how many annuals did you say you have planted?
Well, we grow about 20,000 annuals. 18,000 of them find their way into the gardens.
Wow. Incredible. Incredible. That's so much work. I can't imagine the planning that goes into it. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that a little later.
Okay.
So, all right, you guys stick around because we're headed into another area in our next hour. You won't want to miss it.
What a view.
Back to you.